Hi. Like I said in the last episode, which if you didn't go watch it, because it kind of has to do with this one. Literally, it's like 20 minutes after it's exactly 20 minutes after I started recording the last episode. So it is still Saturday, January 6th, except this time it's 10:19 p.m. I still have my Snapple. Last episode we talked about why every step of your life matters and the fact that it does. Now we're literally going to talk about how you can stop making your life more depressing. It's not that I exactly employ these, because I too am a child. I'm also experimenting with this. Am I aware of this information? Yes. Is it super easy for me to implement it? No. So don't expect it to be easy for you either. At least you know the information and you're trying to do something about it, and that matters. So point number one, you have to realize that your life is your life. That seems like common sense, doesn't it? I'll tell you why I'm saying this. No one has control over it other than you. So that means that you get to decide how you feel. You get to decide what you're doing with your life. You get to decide how you react to situations. You get to decide everything. The minute you let somebody else decide what you do and how you feel and your reactions or whatever, right? You've practically sold your free will for free. You don't really have free will anymore, because free will is your ability to do whatever you want. The minute you realize that, a lot of things will change for you mentally and the way that you look at your life, because you realize, oh, like I can do this and nobody will care. Like it's not gonna matter that much, so let me just do it because it makes me happy, or it just really, like, it brings me joy, so let me just do it because I can and I want to, and there's no like dire consequence to it, so let me just do it. Once you realize this, you will innately, at least for me it will want to exploit it. So here's the thing, this reminds me of when I got my debit card for the first time. Well, I still have that debit card, but the point is, I realized that I had free will and I used it a lot. And at the time, I didn't have any like steady stream of income, so it wasn't like there was a balance. I did have money in there. It wasn't like I didn't. I used it a lot. And that's the thing, is like I exploited the fact that I had that debit card and that it was my money and nobody could tell me what to do with it. So it's almost the same thing here. Realizing that your life is your life and that you have that free will to do whatever you want, you're gonna start exploiting it and be like, well, I want to do this, so I'm gonna do it because it makes me happy and I don't really care what anybody else thinks. And on the same note, believe it or not, your life, no one else is the reason your life sucks. You are. Because again, nobody can tell you what to feel. If somebody does tell you what to feel and you actually feel it, then that's a separate problem that you need to work on, because that's just sad. You can only ever be the reason that your life is sad. Now, there are exceptions. Obviously, there are some situations in life that are out of our control and affect us in a way that does make us depressed or sad for long periods of time. Those are exceptions. Those happen to everybody, not all the time, but it will happen to you at one point and you're not going to be able to control it. But the only thing that you can do in that situation is let yourself go through it, because again, that's a natural feeling. But I'm talking about something small happens, like for example, just something really small, like, okay, like not doing well on a test, right? Yeah, it sucks, but are you gonna let it ruin like your next 2 weeks? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like the important thing is, oh my god, this piece of hair is annoying me. Learn from it, realize what you did wrong, start studying better, caring more, paying attention in class more. But you don't need to be like dragging yourself down without making any improvement, because that's just a waste of time. So at that point, there's no point in even being mad or being angry at yourself or anybody. But at the same time, if you are the reason that your life sucks, you can also become the reason that you become better, because you are in charge. So you could honestly tell yourself, I'm gonna study better. You just saying that, you're not a witch or a wizard, right? Like you just saying that is not gonna make you study better. You actually have to start studying better. So do it. Make sure that everything you tell yourself is gonna come true, because you're not gonna give yourself another choice. But then again, if somebody else is the reason that you think that your life sucks, distance yourself, please. Because they're not the type that's going to make it better either, because they don't care. If they're already the reason that your life is, you know, like sad and you're constantly down all the time, they're not going to be the reason that makes it better, because again, they couldn't care less. The sour feelings of pulling yourself away will be there for a couple days or maybe even a month. It sucks, and I know this because I went through it. It was a little bit of a more different situation, but the point is distancing yourself from people that you know no longer add value to your life. It's going to make you grateful in the future, but obviously in the moment, because you still have that care and that love for the people, it's going to hurt for a while. But then eventually you're gonna get over it once the realization that you are better off without them is sinking in. Those sour feelings are gonna go away, and it's not really gonna matter anymore. Another way that you can get through that really quickly is if you put it into perspective of your whole life, and you realize that that struggle that you're going through right now for like a couple days is minimal. Like, it's not gonna matter that much in the long run. Obviously, there are some. Sorry, I'm holding this thing for the mic because it's not currently plugged in right now because, well, it's confusing, but I'm playing with it. As minimal as it is, I was aware when I was going through this that I wasn't going to be sad forever, and that I knew that at the end I would be better, but I still went through it. Like, I still allowed myself to go through it. I didn't shove my feelings in a box, act like everything was okay. No, I allowed myself to experience those emotions, and I went through it, and it was hard, but now I know that if it ever happens again, I can deal with it better because I've already been through it. So at least I have that confidence, which is a good thing that came out of the situation. These little sacrifices of, you know, like the short term like happiness and being friends with people even though you know that you don't want to, those are like the small little sacrifices that you have to make that are important for you to reach a goal in your life that is like beyond what you can imagine. And again, never give up something for your long-term life just for short-term pleasure for somebody else, or even for yourself. It's like, you don't always have to put yourself on a pedestal and be like, oh my god, I'm so great, like I deserve this right now. Yeah, sometimes you do, but there's like the small little things that most of the time it's like a negative thing. So it's not like, I'm not telling yourself to not do things like go get a food that you're craving. I'm telling you, like, stop hanging out with people that are always like draining your social battery. That should not be a thing. The minute you feel like saying, or you feel like thinking, oh, my social battery is down, babe, that's not good. You should not be around those people. People that you want to hang out with should make you so happy and just really give you energy to live. They should make you want to live, basically. They should never make you want to go home and sleep, and you should never feel like, oh, I'm like so tired of hanging out with them. That's a problem. Another thing is, the biggest thing that disappoints people is that nothing happens in their life because they want something and they just expect it to happen without realizing that they have the power to make that thing happen. So it's like 99% of disappointment comes from the fact that you're not realizing your full potential and what you could be doing for yourself. And this kind of follows the thing of like stop feeding yourself lies. Don't be lying to yourself about your reality, because then those lies are going to become your reality. A lot of people underestimate the power of the mind and how manipulative it can be, not just toward other people, but even towards yourself and your life, and how much power it holds over changing things and making really big shifts. What you tell yourself, it is what becomes. What you tell yourself is what becomes around you. If you keep thinking that your life sucks, then it will. Stop thinking against yourself. You're becoming your own worst enemy by feeding yourself lies about, oh my god, I suck, or my job sucks. And sometimes, yeah, maybe your job does suck. Maybe your hobby is not the hobby for you and you were forced into it. Then stop, quit, change, go do something else that does make you happy. Because the more positive thinking that you do, the more positive turnout you're gonna have in your life. And that sounds very cliche. Again, that goes back to the point that people don't realize their full potential, and it's honestly unfortunate for them, because I think a majority of the population doesn't realize this. They don't realize that their mind is so powerful and so manipulative that the minute that I genuinely think something, it starts happening. It starts like manifesting into their life. And also, it's not just because they sit there every morning and they're like, you know, praying to the universe, oh, I really want this. That's part of it. That is part of the mental manipulation and, you know, like literally seeing everything change around you just because you think it is changing, because the reality in your head is different from the one that is actually around you. There's also the part of like working to make a change. There has to be like a good 50-50. So that is honestly it. Again, you have all the power in your hands, and it is honestly your responsibility to make your life not depressing. Again, there are exceptions, but I'm talking about people like me who don't have like major shifts in their life right now that are causing them to go like spiraling. There are people that do have situations like that, and it's very unfortunate, and I am not the right person to help them. But when you are dealing with the daily day-to-day things that everybody goes through, you need to realize that you are the only person that can help you. So stop making your life more depressing, and please start thinking happy thoughts. Literally, just think happy thoughts. Like, it's hard. I know it's hard. I don't do it all the time. I don't always do what I preach. So please take what I say with like half a grain of salt. I'm not lying to you, but you need to realize that it's hard, and it's really going to be like a longer journey than you think it's going to. I've been on this journey for about a year, I would say. Yeah, a year. It's not easy because even mentally manipulating everything around you in your life is hard. And for some people, it's gonna happen in 1 year. Some people, it's gonna take a lot longer because they have a lot to work through, and their life is just that buried in noise that you have to dig yourself out. Remember this. Remember that you have control and nobody else does. And that you have all the power in your life. You are supposed to be the main character in your life, and no one can take that away from you, and no one should take it away from you, and you should never allow anybody that away from you. So remember this, and have a good day, have a good night, depending on when you're listening to this, and I will see you next week, probably in a different hoodie. All right, bye.